What's up, adventurers? Adventuring with Chris here, and today I am in Cave City, Kentucky, and I am with Big Mo. And Big Mo is their local cryptid, Mosasaur. And it's outside Big Mike's Gift and Rock Shop. So I thought I'd take you guys in and show you a little bit around. Let's go adventuring. So Kentucky does have the Hopkinsville Goblin, but here in Cave City they also have Big Mo, and this is a Mosasaur. He's seen better days, but I always like a good story about a cryptid. And there's signs on him that says no climbing on Big Mo. So he's old, don't climb on him. Correcting myself, he is a Mosasaur, not a plesiosaur. All right, so now we're inside Big Mike's Gift Shop here in Cave City, Kentucky. And like always, it's really cool to see that they have a pappy. I love all these t-shirts here. We've got Bigfoot stole my crystals. Really like that. Look at this guy. Mammoth Cave t-shirts. What kinds of fun trinkets we've got. Breast pennies. If you're hungry, you can get some toe jam. All kinds of fun stuff in here. This is great. All kinds of rocks. All these play the different. Trying to get it to work. It plays sounds from each of these. Jurassic Park, we got Legend of Zelda, Lord of the Rings. The Sprite guy. He's a Sprite. Love it. This place is just right up my alley of random. Be sure to subscribe to Adventuring with Chris. Alright, so we're up here now and see Big Mo. He's on display. Let's go see him. Big Mosasaur. 40 feet in length, 29 teeth. 1.5 to 4 inches long and a 5-foot skull. Discovered in 1994. Ooh, I like this. So this is him right here. Well, actually, that's the plesiosaur. I don't know if they have a Mosasaur on this rack. Anyways, here he is. Big Mo. So this is a Mosasaur they found here in the area in 1994. Pierre Shale Formation, northwestern United States. And this is Big Mo. And his display's outside. This is really cool, actually. So if you haven't known what a Mosasaur is, basically a giant shark, a giant dinosaur shark. Here he is right here. Oh, look at this guy. Wow, this is so cool. Big. So as you know, the Mosasaur made an appearance in Jurassic World, and there he is. I remember this scene, eating a great white, just to show you how big they were. Nearby, they've got a Triceratops ranch. My name is George Turner. I'm the operation manager of fossil hunting here in Newcastle, Wyoming. 25,000 acres in Lance Creek Formation. He's been exploring. So he found the Big Mo skull, 54 inches in length from the tip of its snout. It's now owned by Vicky and Mike and is on display. So he actually found this in Montana. And here he is when he found it. finding the Mosasaur skull. And there he is with it today. So this is the guy that found it. He runs a fossil hunting ranch near Newcastle, Wyoming. Got some really big puzzles here from Jurassic Park, dinosaurs. It's a pretty cool little area here. I'm glad we took a little side trip. And here's some more information about the Mosasaur skull. It ranged around the world in the late Cretaceous period, 20 feet, 30 feet in length. It fed on chiefly on fish, and the only vertebrate large enough to capture such forms as the bulldog tarpon, which weighed 600 to 800 pounds. Wow. So cool. This is good. I like a good corny joke. This is a dad joke. This is a hillbilly briefcase. Keep all your stuff in here. Very brief. You get it? Very brief. So here's the outside of the place. Really cool. Love all the dinosaurs. Alright, so we found our way to Dinosaur City over here in Cave City, Kentucky. This is their gift shop. I don't think we're going to be going into the actual No, I didn't, but we were starting to go into your own account. So, your information. Dinosaurs galore. I love it. Look at this brachiosaur. $50-cent dinosaurs here. Tiny ones. Thanks so much. You're welcome. This guy. So cool. Here's Nessie. Plesiosaur.
We have dogs too, and everything dogs. It's just like walking.
You want to know what part it is. Touching care of swarm and a mission. That always with general mission. The excavation just has the general mission and it was the general mission.
Dinosaur World, Kansas City, Kentucky.
Well, if you pay for it separately, it just be
Yes.
what goes
Chris is
to
free.
the she gets
Who
shipped
likes
in
this?
base and she came to the one pay paychecks on
Alright, Brandon from Plant City.
Okay, just put it on hold.
So can we do that?
Is it here then 2 and 9?
No.
No. Okay.
4 9.
Okay, so are you doing 3 child excursions?
Yeah, how do you know how long does it take?
Well, the only thing that you would have to wait for is the crossing. The next one would be at 12.
Oh, okay.
But if you're not here in that time, it's going to be a baby screen. You just know what it is. Take it for
How does it to walk it?
This guy's really cool. Really neat.
Okay, yeah, I'll do it at child's houses.
Jeremiah, you go help Arnold.
So I thought I'd show you guys a place here in Cave City, Kentucky that is abandoned. So I don't know if you've ever been to Cherokee, North Carolina, but in Cherokee they've got a place called Ghost Town in the Sky, and it kind of suffered the same fate as this place. I went to Ghost Town in the Sky as a kid, and I enjoyed it. And you took a little lift up, and you got to watch Old West shootouts and things. Well, this place looks like it did exactly the same thing, and it looks like it has suffered the same fate. This is their old haunted house. This is all abandoned, and it's currently for sale. I'm not going to go past any of the no trespassing signs. But this was Guntown Mountain, then changed to Funtown Mountain. And then the owner suffered a mental breakdown and threw yellow paint all over the facility, and it never really popped back up again after that. This was the haunted house. And Cave City is kind of like this city, your national park city. Every national park has a city, and Cave City, this is theirs. So here's the haunted house. We'll go check out and see what else we can find. So a lot of other YouTubers have probably covered this place, and it's got an interesting story behind it, but there's Guntown Souvenir Shop, Guntown Mountain. And again, the owner that had the mental breakdown, he changed the name to Funtown Mountain. And here's the yellow paint where he had his mental breakdown, and he wrote some weird stuff here on the concrete. And ever since then, I guess it's just struggled to maintain any kind of relevance and get business. This is kind of in my opinion at least, this is a business model from like the 70s and 80s, and I just don't think it runs anymore like this. People, it's like kitsch, sort of, Old West shootouts and stuff. And I just don't know that this plays with the modern day people, modern day customers. And I think Maggie Valley and Ghost Town in the Sky, I think, had the same issue. And you can see the sign underneath it where it used to say Funtown Mountain. If you see the zoom in, where he painted an F instead of Guntown Mountain, Funtown Mountain. But then, like I said, the owner had a nervous breakdown, and it just never was able to get off the ground. So there's one of the walkways up, and it is forsaken looking now. I'm not even going to touch that. Looks like it's covered in snakes and ticks. And here is and I'm not going to go past any of the do not enter signs. Here is the chairlift that takes you to the top. And here's the machinery for it. And it's just really sad. But I think this is just something from a bygone era. I don't think people want this now. It's hard to say, but I mean, when people come here, they're coming here to go to Mammoth Caves National Park. They're not coming here to do this, I guess, whatever you want to call this, attraction. But here's an old map of the facility itself. As you can see, the Yellow Dog Saloon, the Marshal's Office, Jesse James Museum and Gunfights, Boot Hill Cemetery, all the stuff you'd expect. And you'd hop on right here and head on up the mountain. And let's see if I can walk here in the parking lot. And I'm trying to follow the rules here and not trespass or anything, because this is still private property. But there it goes all the way to the top. And this place, running something like this is so incredibly expensive nowadays. Probably back in the 70s and 80s, it wasn't as expensive to run this. But things have just, with insurance and safety and everything else, it's just so expensive to run something like this now. And I don't even know what it looks like at the top. I would assume completely and utterly overgrown by the way it looks here. I didn't bring my drone, but I'd fly my drone up there if I could. But yeah, Ghost Town in the Sky sort of suffered the same fate as this place did, revived the Old West. But it's just expensive to run nowadays, and I don't know that this will ever run again, just due to the fact of the cost of running this place. So anyways, I just thought I'd show it to y'all. I only found out about it from other YouTubers coming here and telling the story of it, but bugs out here. But yeah, I don't know that this will ever run again due to the fact that it's just a very expensive business model designed for a time that doesn't exist anymore. Maybe I'm wrong. Really cool here. If I zoom in, right across the street is Dinosaur World. A really kitschy dinosaur themed miniature golf and other things. Made a little detour to Hodgenville, Kentucky, to the birthplace of Abraham Lincoln. Here he is, sitting up on a chair here in Hodgenville. And it's a very cool statue. It's really well done. Let's see what it says about him. So 2 miles south of here is where he was born, February 12th, 1809, with appropriations made by the legislature of Kentucky and the Congress of the United States. Walk over here on the other side of the town square, and here's little Lincoln. This is Abraham Lincoln as a young boy. And everything here is all themed after him. There's a Top Hat Tavern, because of course Abraham Lincoln wore a very unique top hat. And there's that right there. And then over here you've got, by the boyhood statue, you've got the Lincoln National Library Bank. And then their radio station is called Abe 93.7. And then you got the Lincoln Museum. Really cool. I had no idea this is where he was born. I think he was born in a log cabin, if I recall. All right, so now I'm at the site of where Abraham Lincoln was born. And this is a well that people in the area would have drank out of. Likely Abraham Lincoln himself and his family. It was the spring, and it's still flowing today. So this particular monument was where his log cabin was, where he was born, designated to preserve the Union and to free the slave. A grateful people have dedicated this memorial for the brotherhood among these states. Let's go up.
What it is dating the logs themselves. So they took a core sample grain sample and found out how old they were. These logs were found to be from mid-1840s. Okay. So much too young to be that early time of Abraham Lincoln. But it is a original guy. It is from this county. The property of the people who claimed this guy, they lived about where that same one is, just a few miles down the road. And this construction style wasn't that different than it would have been when Lincoln was born. So, while not the cabin he was born in, he would have been born in a very similar cabin to this, in this area. So, it is that similar of that. But a few more symbols in here that were placed include 16 stanchions. There's 16 presidents, as well as 16 windows and 16 flowers on the ceiling. The flowers themselves are called Americana flowers. And that's a symbol of remembrance. So we're remembering that life and legacy of President Lincoln. When this was built, though, this wasn't an open-air building. The skylight you see wasn't enclosed until the 1970s. We know this because that's when the HVAC was put in. So the cabin has been pretty well preserved in temperature-controlled environment since the 1970s. I think it looks pretty good for that. But all in all, we are here to help protect, preserve, and maintain this property. And it's been part of the National Park Service since 1933 for us to do so. So thank you all for coming. But you probably don't want also got that Nancy Lincoln in across the wall. Sure. The Nancy Lincoln Inn, it was a privately run business.
So if you didn't hear that, the park ranger was basically saying this is the spot where Abraham Lincoln's family cabin was, where he was born, and they built and erected this beautiful marble structure to honor the spot, and then rebuilt a similar log cabin inside of it, like the one that they just showed, using wood from the 1800s. So this is a really cool, really awesome dedication to one of America's best presidents, the 16th president, that had to put up with a lot of crap, but he did it. Thank you, Abraham Lincoln. Here at the Lincoln Birth Memorial place, they have a bunch of roped off old hotels here where you could stay and get the experience of being in a cabin much like the one Lincoln was born in, here on the place where Lincoln was born. That's the Nancy Lincoln Inn. And then they've got each of these little Lincoln cabins, Lincoln log cabins, if you will. I'm not sure when the national park closed these up, but you could stay in these if you wanted to. Who knows when? I got to do my research. Usually this type of stuff was like early 1900s, mid-century, that they'd do this kitsch sort of niche things. But there it is. The Nancy Lincoln Inn. I'll have to do more research. Made our way into the visitor center, and here is Thomas and Nancy Lincoln, their daughter Sarah, and their son Abraham, who was born on February 12th, 1809. If only we could tell this guy not to go to Ford's Theater. So this was the little brother of Abraham Lincoln, who never made it past a couple months old, Thomas Lincoln Jr. And the stone used to mark Thiel's grave is now on display at the Knob Creek Tavern Visitor Center. He was born in 1812, but only lived a few days. Frontier was a dangerous place to raise children. So this is the Lincoln Family Bible. Here is Lincoln's family on the move. They started up here. Let's find us where we're at now. Here we go. So they moved all over from Virginia. Here we are. Then they went to Illinois, and then his family moved over here to Maryland. He was in Jersey, Massachusetts. So it was poetic that the man who was born in a cabin in 1809 ended up in one of the biggest houses in America, the White House. And it was a family of 4 within the walls of the small space. He was actually only here in Kentucky for about 2 years before his father moved on. And what would a Lincoln Museum be without, of course, my favorite log, the Lincoln log. So this is the cabin that's inside the memorial now, and it was built in 1911, and it's supposed to be symbolic of what Abraham Lincoln's cabin looked like. So here's Nancy Hanks Lincoln. She was a seamstress and was living with an aunt and uncle in Washington County when she met Thomas. They were married in June 1806 and became parents of baby girl Sarah in 1807. Abraham 2 years later. There they are. There's his parents, Nancy and Thomas. Abraham Lincoln's dad made this table, which is really cool. He was a carpenter. This table was made while the Lincoln family lived here at the farm Abraham was born. It is peaceful, beautiful piece of furniture. Cool. If you've ever done nice guy, do them here at the parks. They're really cool. All right, boundary oak tree, once living link to Abraham Lincoln from 1781 to 1986 when it was removed. It was here when they were here. Here's a portrait of Abraham Lincoln made out of pennies. It's ironic. He was on some of the least amount of money in our country. I feel like he should be on more than that. If you're going to come to a national park or a national monument run by the Park Service, you've got to go to their gift shop. And of course, they've got Abe, old honest Abe himself right here. So here's all some really neat stuffed animals and park rangers. Support your national parks, our national parks. They still make these die-cast miniatures. I remember these as when I was a kid. This is a pencil sharpener. I think I'm gonna get this Abraham Lincoln top hat pen. So they've got all kinds of magnets and wonderful educational material here. A Confederacy hat and a Union hat. And of course, some syrup. Why not? All kinds of great books and DVDs and movies and all sorts of other things. And of course, one of my favorite, if you haven't read this before, I highly recommend it. Here is a bunch of felt Lincolns, and they even gave him his mole. I found that very accurate. You get the mole. What's up, adventurers? So, we just got done exploring Kentucky, and I saw this place on the map, and I thought to myself, you know what, this has to happen. So we are staying in a wigwam here at Wigwam number 2 in Cave City, Kentucky. let's go inside and check it out. So as you walk around here, you're gonna see that basically this place was built in 1942. There were, I think, 6 or 7 of them at the time, back in, I think, when they all started and opened. And it was kitsch roadside attractions all the way. If you wanted to get people to come stay at your place, it was kitsch. You had to bring people in with interesting architecture, and this was the way to do it. So I'm gonna walk you around to what used to be the office, restaurant, and gas station. And then we'll take a look at the inside of the room. So Cave City, Kentucky, as I've said before, is basically the national parks. All the national parks have towns that kind of usher you into the national park. And Cave City is Mammoth Cave's big town. Well, mid-century, early 1900s, people are coming here to come see these mammoth caves. Well, a lot of people had to pass through Cave City in order to see the national park. Well, this is the office, and they wanted to reel people in. So when you want to reel people in, what do? You make things look unique and catch people's eyes from the side of the road. And this right here was a way to do that. I mean, look at this neon. So, as you can tell, this was the gift shop. He said it was also a gas station. You can see right here where the pumps were, here and here. So you could pull in and get your gas. You could come over here to the restaurant, gift shop, and office. And they've moved the office now. He said he and his wife would like to turn this into a coffee shop. And I totally get that. That would work really well. So you'd check in here, and around the back, you'd come on through, and they've got things for the kids. This trash can, I love it, the Burger Queen trash can. This is where the ice is, and it's run by a family, or a husband and wife, super nice people too, very nice, could not be more kind and welcoming. And here is the swing set area, and he said they're gonna have a bonfire tonight and they're gonna roast marshmallows. Ooh, lots of sinkholes here in Kentucky because of all the caves. So we're gonna roast some marshmallows tonight. And can I tell you guys how much I really love these old style right by a train track, no less. We've got some cornhole here. It's Wigwam cornhole, mind you. Let's give it a shot and see how we can do. Nope. Let's try another one. I am left-handed, so this is... Nope. So anyways, we're going to continue walking here. I really like the way these are all set up. This is a motor court style. And what I mean by motor court is there's motels, hotels. Motel, you pull your car right up to your room, where your room's located. Hotel, you have to go into a building and get to your room via a building. So hotel, again, your room is in the building. Motel, you pull up to the building. A lot of concrete art here. This is great. And this was built in 1937, before my favorite movie, The Rocketeer. Trying to come over here and show you guys one of the other signs. Here's the old sign with Coca-Cola with the restaurant. Wigwam number 2. 1937. Absolutely love it. This is so great. I can't tell you guys how much I love this. And the fact that it's owned by a small family, a small husband and wife, it's not corporate, it's not mega corporation, is even better. Very quiet here. It's just looks like it's just us and one other couple staying for the night, which is even better. We're right after the weekend of the 4th of July. So kind of makes sense. Here's the restaurant. It's the bigger of the wigwams. All right, time to go inside the actual wigwam and show you guys. Everything in the inside is going to be 1937 styled as best they can, mixed with a little bit of modern. So let's take a look at the inside. All right, so here we are in the wigwam, and as you can see, the ceiling is all set up to make it look like a wigwam, and got our office on. We were watching at the Cherokee Museum, they have this labeled as quiche or kitsch, and they did this a lot, and even the Cherokee themselves even leaned into it to make money for their reservation. This is a 1940 photo by Marion Pulse Wolcott from the Library of Congress. Bathroom is so great and vintage, and I love it. They follow the sort of kitsch, squiggly art all over the bathroom, and I mean, just absolutely great. And the bathroom itself, the shower, everything is so vintage feeling, and I couldn't ask for more. And look at the doorknobs. They just don't do this anymore. I love it. I love it.